Farmer with you at 6 minutes past 4, but more accurately, it's competition time. And families, this one is for you. This is designed as an introduction to live theatre for little ones. If you've always wanted to take your kids to a show, but you're, like I have been in the past, genuinely concerned for how they're going to behave, fear not. Because There's a Monster in Your Show is super inclusive, really interactive musical show for kids. It's based on the Who's in Your Book series by Tom Fletcher. So it's going from page to stage and it's coming straight from a smash hit UK tour by Ought for All. And it's going to be at Zabeel Theatre at Jumeirah Zabeel Sarai. You can get your tickets at platinumlist.net. It is 21st and 22nd of September. So we'd love you to go along with 4 VIP tickets. Thank you very much. Just need to tell me this. The author, Tom Fletcher, before he became a writer, was in a band, but which one? Was he in McFly or Metallica? And I've got an audio clue for you too.
It's all about you. It's about you. It's all about you. It's all about.
That's the band. Which one is it? McFly or Metallica? Tom Fletcher was the front man and he is the man behind Who's in Your Book. Fancy going along to his latest show? Tell me the band name with your name on 4001. You can use the app, of course, and you've got the WhatsApp too. It's 04871 5500. Joining us in studio, a man who is in great demand and is going to be very busy for the next hour. He's looking very relaxed. Mohammed Kawasmi is in the studio, real estate partner, Al Tamimi and Company. Don't listen, you need to sit up and look ready for action, sir, because the text line is busy. We're talking property today. What's keeping you busy?
Sure. The market is doing very well now in Dubai. So we are very busy on the development side, transactional side, advisory work. So in terms of litigious work is not that much because I think everyone is happy now.
Well, the text line saying something
they do
else.
make money. So there are not a lot of disputes. It's more development, transactional work. Yeah, that's what keeps us busy.
Well, we can look behind the headlines. We can take your questions. We've got some just great general advice, really, for those of you looking to buy, sell here in the region. 4001, there's the app and there's the WhatsApp too. My plea to you is don't wait until the end of the show before sending in a question. We'd love to help you out as soon as possible. One thing you wanted to address, and I think this can help avoid future disputes, is the importance of doing your legal due diligence before buying. Tell us a little bit more about why that's something you wish more people knew about, Mohammed.
Yeah, I think this is very, very important. My advice for any newcomer to Dubai, at least to educate themselves about the basics of the law. It's very simple. It's not that sophisticated to know about the basics. What's your rights, where you can own, what you can own, and so on. Now, if you don't know, you can ask. If it's something related to commercial issues, you need to ask your real estate agent. If it's something related to the law, you need to ask your real estate lawyer.
Ask Mohammed. Let's start that
Yeah,
hashtag.
this is one of the options. This is one of the options. And in terms of legal due diligence, this is very important. If you are buying completed property, you need to ask for a copy of the title deed and do title search. Title search, you can check this through an application. It's called Dubai Rest. It's very easy to use. You can check, put the title number and details, and they will tell you it's valid or not. Now, if you want to do more details, which is recommended, for us as real estate lawyers, we have access to the system. And we can invest and to confirm if there is any restriction on the title, if there is any mortgage, any court order, which we can advise the client. Plus, you need to know if it's leased, not leased. Also check if there is any maintenance contracts, these things. Again, it depends what type of property you are buying. The level of due diligence is different from one property or another. If you are buying an apartment, or you're buying an office, or you're buying a tower, so the level of due diligence and details is different from one transaction to another. Now, if you are buying off plan, you need to do more.
How
And
do you do more?
You need to check more and be aware of the off-plan laws and regulations.
Well, do you know what? Let's listen to this message
Sure.
that we had earlier, because that might prompt some further advice. You can reach us 4001, the app, the WhatsApp, or which is the same number as the phone line, 04871 5500. A question right here about off-plan property.
We signed all the paperwork to buy a house, not off plan, but off the person that bought it off plan back in May. So it's still being built. It was supposed to hand over mid-July. That then turned into mid-August and then mid-September. We've been driving past it and it doesn't look anywhere near ready in our eyes at the moment. So my question is, how long is it right for this to go on, really? When does it become necessary for the developer to pay some form of compensation or be liable for the delays in handover or completion? Or is that just wishful thinking? Many thanks.
Great question. Especially as this person is, I guess, a secondary owner, despite the property not even being built yet. Now, if this had been bought, if you're the first person to buy it off plan direct from the developer, presumably the SPA is going to be quite different to what the first person has to the second. So can we talk a little bit to this purchaser?
Okay, this is a good question, and this is very, very common question. We receive this a lot. You know, if someone, the first purchaser, when he or she buy from the developer, and if they want to resell it prior to completion, they need to assign the sale and purchase agreement with the developer to the new purchaser. Yes, there will be an SPA because there might be a premium and so on to regulate the relation between the two purchasers. But at the end, there has to be the agreement with the developer assigned to the new purchaser.
So whatever was in the original SPA, so this will be around timelines, around any adjustments, size percentage that might change, that's still valid for a second owner, even if it doesn't exist?
Correct. It is still valid and it continue to exist.
Okay.
It will not be terminated. It will be assigned to the new purchaser who will acquire the same rights and obligations of the first purchaser.
Now, we don't know from this listener what is in that original
They
agreement.
should do it like this.
Okay.
They should do it like this because the building is not completed yet. There are, the developer has an obligation to build. The purchaser has an obligation to pay the purchase price. This relation must continue. If the first purchaser doesn't want to continue this relation, with the approval of the developer, he can sell it to the second purchaser. Now, the issue about the delay. This is a common thing to experience delay. Now, the question is, what is common delay and what is acceptable delay? What is reasonable? What is unreasonable? The first thing we have to look to the sale and purchase agreement. The sale and purchase agreement must provide when is the anticipated completion date. And most usually, and actually must, or let's say all SPAs should have extension clause because all developers know they may face these things. Usually the common practice here in Dubai, the extension can be between 6 months, 1 year. In some developers, they mention 2 years. So you need to read the SPA and see
Let's
what is the extension. And sorry to interrupt you. This is part of the due diligence.
Yeah. Now, let's say it's been extended. They've actually exceeded the worst case scenario that was outlined in the SPA. Let's say it was supposed to be, the final thing was July and it's now August, it's now September. Is there any call for compensation? This listener was asking about, perhaps they have bought an investment and they're thinking ultimately we're missing out on 1, 2, 3 months of potential rental income. Is there any, are you protected as an owner in that respect?
Okay. When we talk about compensation, that means the developer should be in default or should be a breach from the developer side. Now, from the purchaser, he needs, again, as we said, he needs to review the terms of the sale and purchase agreement. Did he exceed the anticipated completion date? Did he even exceed the extended completion date? Is the delay reasonable or not reasonable? Because we have precedents from the court. Always refer to the principle in the law called the good faith. The good faith means, the developer must build and complete and perform his obligation in good faith. And you as a purchaser also should do the same. If there is 1 month, 2 months delay, as a real estate lawyer, I don't see this is a huge delay.
Here's my issue, though, I guess, as a second purchaser on an off-plan property. You haven't got the purchase plan in place. You can't just say, well, listen, until you deliver this next stage, until there's handover, I'm not paying you any money. They've had a mortgage and that property is now fully paid. We've had a question here saying, what if there's no delivery timeline mentioned in the SPA, but verbally given a completion timeline at the time of booking? That mustn't happen, surely.
The agreement should cover all main issues. The date of completion, it is a major element of the sale and purchase agreement. It must be provided.
Be in there. Okay.
If, I do not see, I never experienced an SPA for off-plan without completion date. It must be, because this is the date when the developer must hand over.
So just to come back to this, let's say it's been exceeded by a year now.
Okay.
Can you get compensation because of stress, lack of earnings potentially?
Again,
is there a precedent for it?
Again, we need to see the SPA.
But I'm saying if the SPA says that this is the absolute last, this is the date.
12 months.
Yeah, and it's gone.
And they're gone beyond the 12
You're beyond the extension.
Okay, now. We need also to apply the good faith test. Let's say...
But, everyone's got a different perception of that, though. Your idea of good faith might be very different to mine.
No, I can tell you. It's very simple, and it's very easy. Let's say I exceeded 1 or 2 months beyond this 1 year extension. In my opinion, this is still also a reasonable delay. Now, let's say they passed the 12 months and the property is still 60 or 70% completed.
Yeah.
So, in this case, there is a huge delay. But if it's 99% completed and there is some paperwork they need to get from the civil defense,
to get
from the
handover.
municipality to get the BCC, then this should be fine.
Okay. I really hope that's helped. I think as it just comes back to your original point about doing that due diligence with the developer, checking that SPA. We've had so many questions for our expert of the hour. Mohammed Kawasmi is with us today, real estate partner at Al-Tamimi & Company. Very busy man and very knowledgeable, as you can hear. 4001 if you've got a question. We're going to be talking about commercial space next. We've also had about... disgusting mould and humidity and a landlord who's refusing to do anything about it. 4001 if we can help you out. And you can be anonymous if you like, or you can give us a call.
More of Afternoons with Helen Farmer is coming up next.
On the UAE's #1